quiet outskirts of a small rural town where the forest stretched thick and wild, and the air smelled of pine and earth. A clever little puppy named Milo found himself facing a challenge that would test every ounce of his courage and intelligence. For his mother, a strong and gentle shepherd dog named Luna, had been badly injured while protecting her pups from a sudden threat in the dark of night. With Luna unable to move and the night air growing colder, Milo knew he could not wait for help. He had to find the young man from the nearby village who had once shown kindness by leaving food near their den and speaking softly to the pack. The same young man who carried a quiet strength and a heart as wide as the forest itself. Someone who could understand and care for Luna. So, with determination sparkling in his eyes and a small limp in his step, Milo set out under the moonlit sky, weaving through dense underbrush and jumping over fallen logs, his nose guiding him toward faint scents of human life, his little paws barely making a sound on the soft ground. And as he journeyed deeper into the unknown, the world seemed enormous and filled with shadows. Yet Milo's spirit never faltered, fueled by love for his mother and the desperate hope that this young man would come quickly before it was too late. Meanwhile, back at the den, the pack waited anxiously, their whines piercing the night air, a chorus of worry and hope. And as dawn broke, the forest began to stir with life, the first rays of sunlight casting a golden glow on Milo's path as he neared the village, where he spotted the young man, James, working on his old truck outside a weathered farmhouse, unaware of the small visitor approaching with urgent eyes. When James saw Milo's frantic energy and the urgency in his bark, he instinctively followed the puppy, sensing something was wrong, and together they raced back toward the den, where Luna lay barely conscious but still protective, her fierce spirit shining even in pain. James quickly assessed Luna's injuries, gently lifting her into his arms, and promised Milo that he would do everything to help his brave mother heal. And as they made their way to the nearest vet, Milo trotted beside them, a tiny hero who had bridged the gap between desperation and hope. And in the days that followed, with James's care and the vet's skill, Luna's strength slowly returned, the bond between human and dog growing deeper with every shared moment of tenderness and trust, proving once again that sometimes the smallest creatures carry the greatest courage, and that love, silent, fierce, and unyielding, can light even the darkest paths, weaving stories that live on forever under the moonlit sky. As the days unfolded, Milo's world expanded beyond the familiar woods and quiet nights he once knew, now filled with the warmth of human kindness and the promise of healing. James, the young man with gentle hands and a compassionate heart, quickly became more than just a rescuer. He was a steadfast companion who seemed to understand the language of silent pain and unspoken fears that lingered in Luna's tired eyes. And Milo watched with a mix of admiration and relief as the wounds that had once left his mother weak slowly mended, each day bringing small victories like a wag of Luna's tail or a soft nudge of her nose against James's palm, moments that stitched together the fragile threads of trust and hope. Yet beneath the surface of recovery, an unspoken bond was growing between James and Milo as well. The little puppy's sharp eyes and keen instincts reminding James of the wildness and wisdom embedded in every creature, the deep stories hidden in their gaze, and the lessons of resilience they carried. Together, they explored the edges of the forest, Milo leading James to secret paths and hidden clearings, where sunlight filtered through ancient trees, and the air was alive with bird song and the rustle of small creatures. And in these moments, the young man learned about patience and observation, following Milo's lead and marveling at the puppy's ability to read the forest like a well-worn map. But their peaceful days were not meant to last forever, for the forest held secrets darker than injury and loss, and whispers of danger crept through the branches like a silent shadow. Distant hunters, unaware of the delicate balance between man and nature, began encroaching closer, threatening the sanctuary that Luna and her family had long called home. Sensing the growing peril, Milo's cleverness shone brighter than ever. His ears always perked, his nose twitching at unfamiliar scents, warning James when the wind carried unfamiliar sounds, or when strange figures moved too close to the den. It was during one such tense afternoon that Milo's sharp bark echoed through the trees, signaling danger, and James found himself moving quickly through the undergrowth alongside the brave puppy, following his fearless lead to confront the threat head-on, the bond between man and dog growing stronger with each heartbeat and shared breath of forest air. Together, they faced not just hunters, but the challenges of understanding and protecting a world where both humans and animals struggled to coexist, weaving their lives together in a tapestry of trust, courage, and love. As the seasons turned, the story of Milo, Luna, and James became one of resilience and hope, a living legend whispered among the trees and carried by the wind, reminding all who heard it that sometimes it is the smallest and most unlikely heroes who shine the brightest light in the darkest times, and that true strength comes from the bonds we forge, the love we nurture, and the courage to stand together against the unknown dot in the days that followed their narrow escape from the hunter's snares. The small yet formidable trio of Milo, Luna, and James settled into a new rhythm that was part healing, part vigilant watch, as the dense forest whispered ancient secrets around them, and the shadows grew long under the moon's soft glow. Milo, whose youthful spirit was undimmed by the trials they had faced, became more than just a clever puppy. He was the guardian of the woods, a beacon of hope for the pack, and a bridge between the wild and the human world, his senses sharper than ever as he darted between thick underbrush and towering trees, alert to the faintest disturbance in the wind or a crackle of dry leaves that might signal another threat. Luna, her wounds now scars that told stories of survival and fierce love, stood taller with a proud but weary grace, her protective instincts never waning as she watched over her family and those who had become hers, her eyes reflecting a wisdom forged in hardship and a deep trust in James, whose unwavering kindness had rekindled her strength and taught her that not all humans were to be feared. James, on his part, was transformed by the forest and its creatures. The young man who once saw the woods as a mere backdrop to his quiet life now found himself bound inextricably to the land and its inhabitants, learning to move with their rhythms, to listen with intent, and to fight with honor and compassion against those who sought to destroy the fragile harmony. The three became inseparable, a family woven not by blood, but by love, loyalty, and the shared goal of protecting the sanctuary they all called home. Yet their peace was once again challenged when a harsh winter storm swept through the valley, the biting cold and relentless wind threatening to isolate the den and test their resilience in new and unforgiving ways. During one stormy night, as snow blanketed the forest and muffled every sound except the howl of the wind, Milo's keen ears caught the faint cries of a lost pup trapped beneath fallen branches, his small body trembling in the cold. And without hesitation, the clever puppy led James and Luna through the blizzard's fury to rescue the fragile life, a testament to the enduring spirit of hope and the unbreakable bonds of compassion that defined their story. The pup, soon named Ember for the tiny flame of life she represented, was nurtured back to health by Luna's gentle care and James's steady hands, her arrival weaving new threads of joy and responsibility into their already rich tapestry of survival and love. As winter gave way to spring, the forest awoke with renewed vigor, flowers blooming and streams swelling with fresh snowmelt. And with it came new challenges and discoveries, hidden dens, forgotten trails, and an ever-growing understanding between human and animal, each learning from the other's strength and fragility. Through it all, Milo's cleverness never waned. He uncovered safe paths, warned of approaching dangers, and helped Ember and other young pups learn the ways of the wild under Luna's watchful eye, while James worked tirelessly to build bridges with the nearby village, educating people about the importance of coexistence and the sacred trust that must be honored between mankind and the creatures of the forest. Their story, rich with the laughter of pups, the quiet bravery of a mother dog, and the steady courage of a young man, became a beacon for others, a living legend that grew in the hearts of those who believed in the power of kindness and the magic of the wild. And so, under the vast canopy of stars and the gentle glow of the moon, Milo, Luna, Ember, and James thrived together, a testament to the unspoken promise that no matter how dark the night or fierce the storm, love and courage would always light the way home, forever binding their fates in a story whispered by the wind as the seasons turned again, and the forest basked in the golden hues of autumn. The story of Milo, Luna, Ember, and James blossomed into a living legend. A tale passed between whispering leaves and the flicker of fireflies, reminding all who listened that even the smallest of creatures could change the course of many lives through courage, love, and unyielding spirit. Milo, now a young dog with eyes full of wisdom and a heart brimming with loyalty, had grown into a guardian not just of his family, but of the delicate balance between nature and humanity. His cleverness, a beacon that guided lost travelers and protected his kin from dangers, both seen and unseen. Luna, whose strength had been tested time and again, stood as a proud matriarch, her scars a testament to battles fought and won, her nurturing spirit forever shaping the future of her pack as she taught Ember and the other pups the ancient ways of the forest, the art of listening to the wind and reading the language of the stars. Ember, once a fragile flame of life, had flourished into a spirited pup, her youthful energy and curiosity rekindling hope in the hearts of all around her, while James, forever changed by the wildness he had embraced, had become a bridge between two worlds, a guardian of peace who fought tirelessly to protect the forest from greed and ignorance, teaching the nearby villagers to see with eyes of empathy and hearts of respect. Together, they faced trials that would have broken lesser souls, from harsh winters that tested their endurance to human threats that sought to unravel the fragile harmony they had built. Yet, through every challenge, their bond grew stronger, rooted in mutual respect and unwavering love. In one final, defining moment, when a great fire swept through the edges of the forest, threatening to consume all that they held dear, Milo's keen senses and fearless heart led the pack through smoke and flame, guiding lost animals and even a few human villagers to safety, his courage lighting the dark night like a star fallen to earth. Luna, strong and steady, moved with grace and determination, her protective instincts ensuring that no pup was left behind, while Ember's youthful spirit inspired hope, even as ash rained down around them. James, wielding both compassion and strength, coordinated rescue efforts with the villagers, proving that true power lies not in domination, but in unity and care. When the fire finally died, the forest stood battered but unbroken, a symbol of resilience and renewal, much like the family who called it home. In the quiet aftermath, under a sky washed clear and vibrant with dawn's first light, Milo, Luna, Ember, and James sat together, their breaths mingling with the fresh morning air, bound forever by the trials they had faced and the unspoken promise to protect their world and each other. A family forged not by blood, but by love, courage, and hope. Their story, once just a spark of a clever puppy's determination, had grown into a roaring flame of legend, whispered in the rustling leaves and carried on the wings of the wind. A timeless testament to the power of friendship, the strength found in compassion, and the magic magic that lies in the bond between humans and the loyal souls who share our world, forever lighting the path through darkness with the purest light of all, love.